Technical problem.
Hit it! You are connected to Ace TJ 5G. Ace TJ. Riggins. Alexis. Tech D-Rob. Live from the Calatrend Studios, this is the Ace and TJ podcast and radio show.
Ooh, just let me start out by saying to all of our Star Wars fans, to infinity and beyond. Hope you have a great day aboard your Starship Enterprise. Nanu, Nanu.
I really hate you right now.
What? Nanu Nanu is a reference from Robin Williams' character Mork from the show Mork and Mindy, where he played an alien from out of space.
So you mentioned Star Wars, but you managed to reference what else in there? Toy Story, Star Trek, yeah. Star Trek, yeah, not Starship Enterprise. And Mork and Mindy. That's very impressive.
Yeah, a bunch of aliens.
You got it all
out of space.
So we get these little audio clips and stuff every day, and there's one in there today it's for Happy Star Wars Day. You want it's way too long, but you want just a piece of it just for entertainment purposes? Here we go.
Pardon me for asking, but
what day is it?
Do you really not know?
I really don't.
Here's a hint.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me you killed him.
No, I am your father.
Say what?
May 4th.
It's supposed to be a Happy Star Wars Day show opener.
Yeah.
But do you need 90 seconds of that?
No.
To get yourself psyched up for the day. So it's because May the 4th be with you is the thing, right? For Star Wars Day? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So May the 4th be with you.
Right.
Although we did, I think, kind of successfully, I saw this year, at least in my opinion, we kind of slid by the whole it's going to be May thing.
Yeah. I think it lost popularity with Justin Timberlake. I mean, this last couple of years, his stock has dropped.
Yeah.
And it just kind of faded away. But it was a thing for, a decade.
But I'm glad it's gone. It's time to move on to something else.
Yeah, it's corny.
Yeah.
And just, today being the day for Star Wars or whatever, just, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, Star Wars is stupid. From day one, not just all of the stuff lately, from Luke Skywalker and them. Just stupid.
I think they're really, especially the first three, really good movies.
Only good thing in any of those movies was Billy D. Williams.
He was very cool.
You want my arm to fall off? Hey, I'm Billy D. Williams. That was it.
He's still kicking?
Yeah.
Is Billy Williams still alive? I don't know.
I think so. I saw him down to the Safeway the other day. Getting groceries.
Billy D. Yeah, he's a good-looking dude.
You got the Piggly Wiggly. But,
Yeah, still alive. He's 86.
Just think about how much more this day, how much more attention and celebration this day gets than other things like Father's Day or, I don't know, Veterans Day.
I don't think that May 4th gets more attention than Veterans Day. Father's Day, maybe, because nobody cares about Dad. But you think more than Veterans Day?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. Mm-hmm. That's real. That's real sad.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Now, maybe they was some veterans that put on them silly costumes and ran around on screen.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were some.
And the father was a big storyline in Star Wars, so, there's that.
Well, it's basically the first episode of Maury.
Yeah.
Was Star Wars. Luke Skywalker running around, doesn't know who his daddy is.
Yeah.
Kissing his cousin.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not the news, it's more important. Now trending with Riggins on the Ace and TJ show.
So as you just heard, that is the top trending topic, May the 4th. The top trending topic, also known as Star Wars Day. And something interesting that's happening today, Carrie Fisher, who played Princess Leia in the movies, she's getting her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And there's some drama around it because her daughter, Billie Lourd, who's in the show American Horror Story, she didn't invite Carrie's brother and sister there. And the brother and sister have now put out press statements saying how offensive this is. We don't know why she didn't invite us, but we were all a tight family, and Carrie would want us there because I guess that ceremony is invitation only. And Billy Lord said, I don't want my aunt and uncle there. And they know why. That's what she said. And now the brother and sister apparently put out books right after Carrie's death. And apparently that rubbed Billy Lord the wrong way.
So you're telling me after all the success Carrie Fisher has had, she's just now getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
I know. I thought she would have had it. I mean, Princess Leia.
I mean, Star Wars alone, all those movies you would think would be enough to get her a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Well, you got to buy it.
Yeah, but
You got to buy it. So her family doesn't sound like they were ready to put up the money to get it. And is that something you go buy for yourself? I'm gonna think like, well, I want somebody buy me, get my star. I'm not going to go. How pathetic does that look if I go buy my own star?
That looks real
and,
bad.
Carrie Fisher's like, and don't invite Uncle Bobby to my ceremony either.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of sad, though. I mean, it's like her, big moment after, she's passed away already. But now that all this drama surrounding with family drama that they didn't get invited and they want to be invited, it's supposed to be a happy day.
That's a shame.
But they do it on May the 4th,
Yeah.
Sort of something special. Did she do anything outside of Star Wars that was hugely popular?
Not anything. Excuse me. Not anything as big as Star Wars, but she did a lot of movies and stuff.
did?
Yeah, she did a lot of different things.
Yeah. I never saw her. I only watched like part of one Star Wars movie, so I was curious.
And today, it would not be allowed, when you talk about Luke Skywalker, it would not be allowed for an all-white person like Mark Hamill to play the part of a biracial space fighter guy.
Biracial? Is he biracial?
Yeah, Darth Vader was James Earl Jones, and that was his dad.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
See, no, you didn't, Riggins, because
I'm a racist.
Yeah, and obtuse when it comes to the social
You're
issues.
obtuse.
Obtuse. You're dense.
Quit being so obtuse.
Well, he didn't. Well, no, I don't want to get into it. I didn't think about that, though. That's wild. Today's National Orange Juice Day. I'm a big heavy pulp guy.
Pulp all the way.
No pulp.
Heavy
No, I
pulp.
love it.
I'm
I wanna
okay with a little
swallow
pulp.
my orange juice.
Ugh, that's gross.
Yeah, it's like
love it.
eating. I can't even compare it to anything else. But you either love pulp or you hate it. And
I just
there's
feel
no
like-
in between.
It tastes way more fresh that way. Like they just I was gonna say they just milked it. They
Just milk the orange.
They just milked the
just
orange
juiced
to get
it.
that out of there.
The orange teats.
Did you say they just juiced it?
Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite orange juice has no pulp and a lot of carbonation.
Yeah, heck yeah.
That sun-kissed orange juice that comes in the big plastic bottle.
So good.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Costner is saying he didn't get anybody pregnant on the set of Yellowstone. That's like the new rumor after yesterday's news came out that he and his wife of 18 years were divorcing.
As
And
if
there's
it's
a new-
not bad enough. He's got to come out and go, hey, I didn't get anybody pregnant. Calm down.
They're saying that was the reason she's leaving is because he got somebody pregnant on the set of Yellowstone. He said there's no truth to that. And then there's also a rumor that he's not going to be back after season 5 of that show.
Entertainment Tonight reported that he's done. They're going to finish season 5, and it's all because he and Taylor Sheridan cannot get along.
Really?
Hasn't that already been out there?
I don't follow the
Yeah,
Yellowstone
I guess
stuff.
I guess Entertainment Tonight reporting it last night makes it a little bit more official because they got it from somebody directly higher up at Paramount.
But I saw that this morning. I was thinking, we've been talking about that for 2-3 weeks.
And the show went downhill anyway, so it's like it's
Yeah.
time for it to be done.
Well,
They ruined it.
And it makes sense that Kevin Costner, because they said that it was over, it was creative differences they keep fighting about. And I can see that because Kevin Costner's probably saying, hey, the material sucks now. It went from being top notch to now all of a sudden these storylines are bad. You're showing too many scenes of the nature and all of that
Landscapes.
land stuff and now we're not into the content anymore. It's not good drama. You've made Beth and Rip some sort of like little sappy couple, and it's just ridiculous. So I
What
could see where
changed?
that Taylor Sheridan
vibes.
would have.
The vibes changed.
That was
Yeah.
You know what it could be? It could be the fact that they went down and did 2 more shows, plus he's got Mayor of Kingstown. So Taylor Sheridan's got 4 shows in production right now, and that's probably got a lot to do with it.
And Tulsa King.
And Tulsa
And he has
King,
a few
5 shows.
movies too that he's
Yeah.
involved in right
Yeah.
now.
So maybe that's part of the problem is that he's
many
exercising too much control and he's spread a little bit too thin. But all the great shows, Yellowstone's going down. This season of Ted Lasso, not great. It's okay so far. I'm still watching it, but okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad. And I know Rob loves this season. He said this is the best season yet, right?
What are we talking about?
Ted Lasso?
Oh, no. I didn't say that.
Oh, I thought you said that on
I
the
enjoyed it
podcast.
a lot, but it's not as good.
Not as good. Okay. But anyway, those are a few things that are now trending.
And there may be a celebrity that needs our help again. I'm not sure what's happening, but I walked in my house yesterday and my wife goes, "Have you seen this?" And I was like, "No, but tell me more." So I'm not sure what it's about. Maybe we can figure it out next.
Get Ace and TJ anytime, anywhere, at your convenience with the Ace and TJ Show podcast. Available wherever you get podcasts. More Ace and TJ is next. On your radio, anytime you want, wherever you get podcasts. This is the Ace and TJ podcast and radio show.
So thank you to everybody we posted a couple of pictures yesterday. We talked about the maternity photo shoot a couple of weeks ago, and we posted these pictures yesterday. And so many people, you had so many nice comments, hundreds of them. It's very much appreciated. Y'all are very kind. But part of that is because we've got something else special happening called the Ace and TJ Baby Registry. We want to use this opportunity, this time, kind of celebrating the birth of this child that my wife and I are having, to do something for others who really need it, who are at Levine Children's Hospital. So Ace and TJ's Baby Registry is up now, acetj.com/baby. That's acetj.com/baby. All you do is go click the link. It takes you to an Amazon wish list. You just click whatever you want. Boom, you're done. Super easy to do. It's not expensive at all. It's totally up to you as to how much you want to spend, as much or as little as you can. But whatever you can do to help would be great, because this is for people whose kids are already in Levine Children's Hospital, coming from all over the country. They're suffering, and anything we can do to help make their stay there a little bit easier, that's the goal. So acetj.com/baby if you want to be a part of the Ace and TJ Baby Registry. A couple of things. One, yesterday, if you are on the internet very much or on social media very much, you are probably familiar with one Jackson Mahomes, who is the 22-year-old brother of NFL superstar Patrick Mahomes, probably the best player in all of professional football these days. Two-time NFL Super Bowl champ, two-time Super Bowl MVP, all that good stuff. But his brother is known for making, if you don't know, he does these dance TikToks and videos and all, often on the sidelines at games, and people love to hate him. And I mean, there is a lot of hatred for Jackson Mahomes, who's 22 years old and was arrested yesterday and formally charged. Let's see. There's surveillance video posted by TMZ appears to show him kissing a woman while his hands are grasping her neck. It's a 40-year-old woman who's the owner of Aspen's Restaurant and Lounge. And she's also accused Jackson Mahomes of shoving a member of the restaurant's waitstaff in a separate incident. So this came out a while back, and then he was just charged yesterday. And he's 22, and it not a banner day for the Mahomes family. He's toned it down the past couple, like this past season, he toned it down quite a bit after there was some controversy because Jackson Mahomes and Patrick Mahomes' wife, Brittany, were spraying champagne out the window of their suite. And people were like, that you look like a bunch of goofs.
I think the last thing I saw of him was on the field, maybe even after the Super Bowl, when they're interviewing his brother on the field, and he walks up in the background and starts dancing, doing one of his dances.
Yeah.
That was the last time I saw anything about him until yesterday.
So, and then here's what happens in these situations. People find out that you've been arrested, and the bystanders were all over him as he comes outside of jail yesterday.
You the fucker, right now.
Facebook, take a picture.
Keep pushing, keep walking. Anything you want to say to the victims of these crimes?
You know, if you was a real black dude, they would arrest you along.
That's terrible.
They would arrest you a long time ago as the rest of that clip had cut off.
Somebody was like, was that a reporter from the...
No, that's what I wondered. Were either of these people reporters? Because they're, now you can't tell because reporters use their phones also. Yeah. So everybody's there with their phones stuck out, and you can't see the faces of either people because everybody's trying to get the shot. You just see arms and phones. It's like,
if he was a real black dude,
you'd have been arrested a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably people out there trying to get it for TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Were there more than one? Was there more than one victim?
The waiter and the woman that says, in the video, it appears that he's grabbing her neck. The video is pretty shocking.
And I haven't seen the video yet. He is.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're in some sort of back room at a restaurant, and he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Like he's taller than his brother, and just like kind of towers over her and grabs her and pretty aggressively tries to kiss her. That's what it appears like in the video.
Well, that is not okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's out there. Pretty wild.
And then I walked into the house yesterday, and my wife said, "Have you seen this?" And she holds it up on the phone, and it's I'll show you the picture, but it's a woman. All you see is her bra and how well endowed she is. That's the photo.
Oh yeah, I saw that the other day.
Yeah, that comes right off of a Britney Spears Instagram.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And it says.
Yeah, the caption's nonsense.
Yeah, if I clapped another word for breasts, could I make one pop like a balloon? On Thursday, TikTok, salute to all bees today, not just with my middle finger, but my chest too. How do you spell chest? Is it chess, C-H-E-S-S, or chest, C-H-E-S-T? And then there's another picture behind it, and it appears to be a picture of like Lee Harvey Oswald or something sitting at a table. I don't know what that's about. I'm not sure if it's even Lee Harvey Oswald because the face.
It's people playing chess.
Oh, they're playing chess. Oh, I get it now. I see, Rob. Okay, I was looking at the faces of the guy. Okay, and my first thought was, is Brittany planning something on TikTok, or is she just going crazy again?
She been going crazy. She been crazy.
I mean, I feel bad for her.
You just gotta like let her do her thing, keep it moving. Just like, okay, Brittany, cool. Whatever.
All right, cool, Brittany. Thanks.
All right, Brittany.
So that just threw me when I saw it yesterday. I didn't know that was an older post. It didn't go up yet because I don't follow her on anything. I didn't know.
I just picture her sitting around that big house all day by herself, and then just trying to figure out what am I going to do. And she's just like, do. Okay, and then I'll go put on a costume and dance. And that's usually about it. Or, if her husband walks in, she'll do something with him. But, yeah, I just picture her just sitting around, kind of talking to herself all the time and figuring out what she's going to do to, give her something to focus on.
Yeah.
I wish she'd focus on going to the hairdresser.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Oh, no.
You've got bajillion dollars.
Yeah, but...
Take care of it. One man's opinion.
But she's not going anywhere.
I guess
that's the thing. She probably looks at it like, I'm not leaving the house. What I got to do?
Look, you can say you're not a fancy person, but there is one thing that you admit, well, I love it. It's a little fancy. I'm not fancy, but I love what? Next.
Miss part of the show? Just download it. Get the Ace and TJ podcast on any platform. More of the Ace and TJ podcast and radio show is coming up. This is the Ace and TJ podcast and radio show.
Ace TJ TV is our YouTube channel. New edition of the Meaningful Meeting going up today that I hope you'll check out. It's on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. And you can watch Extra Funny live every single day on Ace TJ TV live at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. It's a daily extra podcast that we do that you can see on YouTube, and you can download anywhere and everywhere. And if you're a new subscriber to Ace TJ Prime Plus, you get all that stuff. You get extra funny, which is an additional segment every day, and you get the show and extra funny without any commercial interruption. So, Ace TJ Prime and Ace TJ Prime Plus, you can sign up for through our app or at acetj.com. So, when kids have a birthday, typically, you get to pick your favorite foods for your birthday. And a lot of times you go with, some kind of special cake, maybe a trip to McDonald's. But the Princess of Wales, Kate, was talking about her daughter, Princess Charlotte, whose birthday was yesterday, I believe. Is that right? And she appears to have a very sophisticated palate for an 8-year-old. Among her favorite foods, and then Kate points out, look, she likes cheesy pasta, like all kids do, but they do love to, quote, make salads and stuff, end quote. But she did confirm that the 8-year-old Princess Charlotte does love olives. olives one of her favorite snacks. You don't see a lot of 8-year-olds that walk into the kitchen and grab a jar of olives and just start, throwing down some.
No.
It doesn't happen. Now, I love olives.
Yeah.
But I'm an adult. I didn't like them as a kid. I just kind of, grew into it somehow.
I think my wife has liked them her entire life.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Black and green?
Yeah.
See, I'm more of just a green olive person. I'm not really a black olive person.
I wish I liked them.
But she'll go, but I don't want the blue cheese stuffed olive in my martini.
Those are the best.
I
want my martini filthy dirty, but I don't want any of that blue cheese filled stuffed olives.
But again, you don't see a lot of 8-year-olds that love olives.
No.
Like I said, as a kid, I would never have even thought to try eating an olive.
No.
I don't like them now.
Yeah, I wish I did, but I just cannot get down with them at all.
So, and it may be something you think, oh, she's a princess.
Yeah.
That's just how they roll. Maybe it is. I don't know anything about being a princess.
What?
I know. But let's break that down into our little world. You don't live among the high society snobs, but there is one thing you just absolutely adore and can't live without that you would consider a little more high class. What's that thing? Could be a specific food that you love. Like, I'm not fancy, but maybe you love the lobster mac and cheese from the finest restaurant in town, and that's you can't live without it. You're not fancy, but you'll admit, hey, look, there's one specific brand of water that's more expensive than every other, and that's the only water that you'll drink.
Oh, yeah.
You're not fancy, but you've got to have the best, finest, most up-to-date phone case known to man all the time. What is that one thing? I'm not fancy, but I love blank.
I think Ace would have a lot of these. You'd have a lot of these.
I've tried to come up with something, and I don't really know.
Because, like, every once in a while, you do something, I go, golly, that's fancy.
Okay, like what? Here's mine. I'm not fancy, but I love room service.
Exactly. There you go. That's a
room
good
service
one.
is, as someone might say, room service is my jam.
Yeah.
I love room service.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, as a kid, I never stayed in hotels. We stayed in motels. But if I did stay in hotels, like room service is way too expensive. You lost your mind, and I love it.
Isn't this the original definition of bougie?
Yes. I thought about that.
Where you are not a fancy person, like say, for example, you live in a camper, but you got a brand new Escalade parked out front. Like that.
Exactly. I thought about that this morning and thinking about this, trying to come up with a witty name, like I'm broke but bougie.
Yeah.
You're one bougie thing, whatever it might be.
I'll give you one for you, Ace, that I just thought of.
Okay.
So you went to the Daytona 500. You like wrestling, but right now you're wearing a cashmere sweater. At this moment.
You're right. I'm wearing a cashmere hoodie I've owned about 5 years. Yeah.
And you were definitely watching Jericho last night on AEW wrestling, weren't you?
No, sure. I did. I missed it. I was at Music Bingo last night, Riggins, where I won 2 Miller Lite glasses because I won twice.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
So
his and hers.
That's right. That's a very good point.
You won 2 Miller Lite glasses at a bar last night, but you're wearing cashmere today.
There you go.
That's what a great example. So, at the Ace TJ Show, you can DM us if you want to be anonymous, but I'm not fancy, but I love blank.
Studios. This is the Ace and TJ Show. Find out more about Calotren at acetj.com/weight loss. There's a lot happening with the radio family. Here's what's new today from the Ace and TJ podcast and radio show.
Brand new edition of the Meaningful Meeting podcast that I do goes up at 11 today. And look forward. I hope you'll check that out. It's on our YouTube channel or anywhere you get podcasts. Plus, new edition of Extra Funny podcast we do every day at 9 a.m. You can watch that live on our YouTube channel or check it out afterwards, wherever you download podcasts or on YouTube. It's Ace TJ TV on YouTube. Like and subscribe. It's over 6,000 satisfied customers right now in Ace TJ TV on YouTube. We assume they're satisfied.
Yeah, we don't know. For sure.
Well, they're not saying they're not. So that's good enough for me. I'm not fancy, but I like blank. Like, you don't live among high society snobs, but there's one thing that you're a little snobby about, a little bougie about. Like Anne Marie says, I'm not fancy, but I love expensive cheeses. I can live without them, but I don't like to.
Yeah, I like that.
What qualifies as an expensive cheese?
Like a Gouda, probably. A Romano, like the actual Romano cheese. What else?
Yeah, like I think anything that's outside of Kraft singles and the Parmesan shaker cheese, in the can. And I love those
Fresh
things. I never buy expensive
cow milk's cheese.
Yeah, like goat.
A fresh mozzarella. Okay. Oof.
A fresh
Mozzarella.
A fresh mozzarella.
I love it.
Ay, ay,
But Badia said, I'm not fancy, but I love brie and baguette.
That is snobby, yeah.
Brie.
Brie sucks.
Terry said, I love English tea and blueberry scones. It has to be in a real teacup.
Oh, God.
A scone. You could strike a match on those things.
Cindy has two. I'm not fancy, but I love Fiji water and designer purses.
Fiji water is very good.
It's that much better?
Yeah.
I think it's better. Too.
It is. It's really good.
Does it fit
You
in a
feel
cup
like you're in
holder?
Hawaii.
It doesn't, right? It doesn't fit in
It
the cup
doesn't,
holder.
yeah.
That's
They need-
ridiculous.
And that's a real problem.
Unless it's the mini bottle.
Yeah.
Or unless you have automatic adjustable cup holders.
They turn into
Like
squares.
I can hit a button in my truck that goes from round to square.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Rob, do you have anything that pops up?
I can't think of anything. I'm not bougie.
The
Yeah,
blueberry one.
I was just curious if there was something
$4
about.
blueberry wine. It's not fancy at all.
What about what about your video game playing chair? Aren't those expensive?
I got one of the less expensive ones, but it was medium range, I guess.
Okay. Let's see. Shannon said, "I'm not fancy, but I love massages. I try every other month. I want a hair salon, and it helps with the standing 10 hours a day."
Yeah, I mean, I know some people like that. This is a lady that's not bougie at all or snooty at all, and I think every 2 weeks she has a set time where she goes and gets into that thing in the mall that sprays you with water. You know that water massage thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fancy.
Do you have one, Riggins? I'm not fancy, but I love.
Yeah, I mean, I like expensive fabric softener on my sheets. That's ridiculous, but I like when it get in bed and it smell like amber blossoms. No, not really.
How expensive is expensive fabric
I
softener?
mean, it's
if you
made
don't
by
mind me
Downy.
asking?
It's
Yeah.
made by Downy, but it's very like girly and like very. It's expensive and ridiculous. Yeah, I don't think so though.
Do you have one, Alexis? Top of your head?
The homemade tonic. I like
Oh,
only
yeah, that's a
homemade
good
tonic with my gin. But I mean, everything I like is fancy.
Yeah, Alexis is pretty fancy.
I like fancy stuff.
Yeah, you
is
you
fancy.
you always have talked about fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty fancy.
I'm so fancy.
Homemade tonic.
Pinkies up, fancy.
This is the Ace and TJ Show.
Well, it wasn't long. Taylor Swift no longer single. Maybe she's off the market. Now trending. Coming up next.
Don't miss the extra funny podcast coming up at 9 Eastern, live on the Ace and TJ app, or download anytime wherever you get podcasts. More Ace and TJ coming up. In your car, on your iPad, on your computer, anytime, anywhere, for your entertainment. This is the Ace and TJ radio show and podcast.
Ooh. Go watch us on YouTube. You can watch the extra funny podcasts every day live as it happens, and everything else you watch at your leisure. Go to YouTube and just look for Ace TJ TV, or you can go straight to acetj.tv. The Meaningful Meeting will be new up there today. Ace's podcast, as well as this week there has been a Nerd News podcast that everybody said Rob is adorable on. It's still up. All that stuff. Please. So there was a bride and she booked a photographer to do the wedding pictures. Okay. Wedding pictures turned out beautifully. And it was back in 2019 that she had her wedding, and she and her new husband, they call him the groom. They told the photographer what a great job he did. They were so pleased. Everything was perfect. All that. But fast forward to today, and she has contacted the photographer and demanded a full refund for the pictures from her wedding. Still says that they were great, beautiful, no complaint about the work. But in that time, she and her husband have gotten divorced, and she doesn't need the wedding pictures anymore. So she's asking for a full refund, and thinks, and actually said, I deserve a full refund. We don't need them anymore. And then he said, obviously, I can't refund you because I can't untake the pictures. Then she said, I'm entitled to demand a refund as I'm no longer in need of your pictures. I understand it's not your fault, but you are a business, and as such, you must be able to grant refunds.
But wait, so he's already delivered all the photos?
Yeah, 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
Yeah. And just because they got divorced, she thinks that she deserves a refund on the wedding pictures.
Is this person dumb?
That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
What?
Yeah, so, obviously he keeps telling her no. She says that she's, contacting an attorney. This is in South Africa. So her attorney called him, and he said the attorney was like, look, I told her I would call you. I get it. I understand your position, but I told her I would call you. And said he was almost laughing about it. And so obviously, there's nothing to sue him over. But he posted all this stuff with screenshots of the texts, their conversations back and forth. And so after he posted it and people, started viewing it, 350,000 people or something like that, the ex-husband was bound to see it, so he did. And then he reached out to him, and he said, I apologize on her behalf. This is embarrassing.
Yeah.
So does anybody have, just not knowing the couple, obviously, or any of their situations, does anybody have any idea why they would be divorced after just such a short time?
Well, it sounds like because she's a lunatic.
Ace. That's quite a conclusion to jump to there.
It is, but there you have it. That's the answer I think we're all thinking about.
And then somebody said she must not be good looking enough to trump the crazy behavior. I don't know. I don't know if that's kind of harsh. I don't know why somebody would say that.
It's terrible.
Did it say who might have said that?
No, but I think that it doesn't matter how beautiful someone is. Sooner or later, the crazy will trump the looks.
Absolutely.
So it was 4 years in this guy's case.
I guess.
I don't know. You don't think that there's a person that's hot enough that a person will deal with their crazy? Because I've seen it.
Yeah, but not.
eventually.
It will expire.
Yeah.
Like there's an expiration date on that tolerance.
Yeah, at some
Some
point,
more
you're
than
just like,
others,
I
yeah.
can't take this anymore. I don't know, you're hot, but I just hate you so much. I can't do this anymore.
Or I just hate what you do to me. On both cases, men and women.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be if she went to the bartender from the reception and said, "Hey, I need a refund. Your drinks were great and we enjoyed them and all, but we don't need them anymore because that was at our wedding reception, and we're divorced now."
It's no different than anything else. Hey, I'm divorced, so I kept my wedding dress, but I'm gonna bring this back and just give me a refund.
Or the frozen part of the cake that you're supposed to keep in your freezer for an anniversary, you bring it back to the baker's. I need partial refund for this.
At least give me a quarter back on this.
But
That is wild. 4 years.
does she not have family and friends though that care about her to be able to stop her from doing that and go, "Hey, You can't do that. Don't do that. Don't be asking for a refund because you got divorced.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. You're going to make a fool of yourself.
I think so.
Worldwide.
I don't think she would have listened if anybody had said anything to her. If you go this far with this, contacting an attorney and having your attorney call the guy, they could have told her and she would refuse to listen.
We don't need those. So Ace, these maternity pictures that y'all just took that you posted yesterday, you're happy with those? They look great. People say they look great and all that. So after the baby gets here, you should get a refund and say she had the baby, so we don't need the maternity pictures anymore.
Yeah. Sorry, we don't need them for anything.
Yeah,
I think we got a whole new trend starting here.
It's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but if you think that she's right, then send us a DM on that. But figuring that nobody will probably say that,
there's no way.
Coming up next, we'll tell you how to get a one-day breast augmentation. Yay! Not in one day, but last one day.
Extra Funny podcast coming up at 9 Eastern, live on the Ace and TJ app, or download anytime wherever you get podcasts. More Ace and TJ coming up. It's more than regular funny. It's extra funny. The Extra Funny podcast is live every weekday at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Ace and TJ app and available anytime where you get podcasts. Now, more Ace and TJ podcast and radio show.
All right, go get signed up for Ace TJ Prime, please. This is something that we're so proud of that we're growing into. Ace TJ Prime. You become a member and you're going to have access to all kinds of things. Invitations to our events where you get to come watch us perform on stage, doing all kinds of juggling and magic and sword swallowing, and all of that kind of stuff.
Working up a fire spitting routine.
And he's not just talking about his raps where he be spitting fire. He's talking about spitting fire. And then you got Ace TJ Prime Plus, a subscription side where you get fresh content that nobody else can get from the show. And I think today I'm going to be recording the first edition of the return of my political show. And manager Adam is already scared. I don't see it lasting very long.
Well,
I think I think it probably won't last very long. So go get it while you can. I'm just gonna torch it right out of the gates today. So let you know when that's all up and ready to go. There is a woman that they have interviewed here. She is, it says, a former Playboy bunny. And then it goes down into the article. And while saying a former Playboy bunny, then it says that she is an adult performer. So she's a pornography star. Now, Playboy bunny is not a playmate. A Playboy bunny, I think, works at the various Playboy clubs, waitressing and things of that nature.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the way it was. Because I watched that docuseries about that cockroach Hugh Hefner. What a terrible, terrible person he was. And that's the way it was back then. So anyway, she said when she was 19, which, I mean, you're 19 years old, you're a woman, stepping out into the world on your own. So many of your just average 19-year-old women go and get an E-cup breast implant. So when she got those at 19, she kept them until 2021 and then went back to a C-cup. So then she got into something where she didn't want implants again because she didn't like the way they felt. So her doctor told her about the saltwater injections that will give you the instant look of breast augmentation, but then only last a maximum of 24 hours. So then you go back to normal after that. So if you've got an event or something, then you would go get this done, and then go and do that. And for her, she would go do a scene, have that all, as she said, glammed up,
And then it just wears
and
off.
then just wears off. So I hadn't heard of this.
I've never heard
yet.
of that.
But she's singing the praises of it, and the best thing. And I hate the way implants made me feel, and all that. But again, you're 19 years old and you've got implants. That's going to make you feel, a little bit weighed down, I would think. So she paid $7,500 for 10 injections.
$7,500?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
So that means 10 times they would go to the size that she wanted and then go back down within 24 hours. And that cost her $7,500.
Yeah, and she said that she doesn't know where they get the 24 hours from because it never lasted more than 12 with her. But ultimately, she decided to go back to a regular boob job.
Oh, gosh.
Because it seems to be a lot more cost effective.
So she's now back to what she said. I'm back to fake size D cups again.
To E to C to D.
Yeah. E C D.
Wow.
But some of this article talks like she just did it herself. Like, I'm at home and I just like, I got to go do a scene, or I got to, that formal event I'm attending tonight. Plap, plap, shot, let's go. But it doesn't work that way. But you got to have real money to just use that as, like going to the salon to get your hair done before, a wedding that you're going to or something. Wow.
That's nuts.
Yeah, for a few grand more, she could make them permanent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Which is apparently what she's done. She finally realized that was not very cost effective.
So there you go, ladies. That's out there. If you want to, or men's, because if it lasts 24 hours, how good would a man's Halloween costume be?
Yeah.
Because all these men dress up like women for Halloween.
Get some boobs.
Yeah.
My luck, I'd be the one that it would never
Insta-boobs.
go away. Like I'd do like
Get stuck with the
I'd do like a
boob.
Dolly Parton costume or something for Halloween, and then the next thing you know, it's Thanksgiving and they're still there.
Yeah. You also put your contact lenses in it.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Yeah. So there you go.
This is the Ace and TJ Show.
When it was take your kids to work day, did you actually put them to work? Well, there is someone who works at McDonald's that is in trouble now just because she took the take your kid to work day a little bit too seriously. We'll tell you about it coming up next.
From the Calotren Studios, this is the Ace and TJ Show. Find out more about Calotren at acetj.com/weight loss. Share Funny is now a little bit extra. Don't miss the Extra Funny podcast. Live every weekday on the Ace and TJ app or anytime wherever you get podcasts. This is the Ace and TJ podcast and radio show.
Did y'all go visit your parents at work ever? It was, like even before they had that, bring your, take your daughter to work day or take your kids to work day and all that. I had to a couple of times. I had to go hang out up where my dad worked.
Yeah, I went with my dad all the time, pretty regularly, and then hardly ever went to my mom. I mean, as a teacher, I never had a reason to go to because I was always in school.
There's a McDonald's in Kentucky that's been fined because they say that they hired 2 unpaid 10-year-old children and at times making them work as late as 2 a.m. But the McDonald's, like the food group that owns the franchisee, so to speak, said that the kids were up there visiting their parent. It didn't say whether it was their mom or their dad or what. But while they were up there, the owners had no idea that the parent was making them work. So they said that there were times they were even running the fryer, which you can't even be. You can't even be less than 16 and run the fryer.
They got a couple of 10-year-olds dealing with hot grease over there.
So they were running the register. They were doing everything. Now, if you own the business and your kids are hanging around and you put them to work doing stuff and whatnot, that's a different story. But if somebody else owns the business and you're just the night manager and you put your 10-year-olds in there and they're slinging fries,
that's bad business.
You know, they're on a stool flipping burgers on the griddle. You know, can't necessarily have that.
Cannot do that.
But I mean, what you want to bet though that they were better hands than some of the people working in there. Like the official employees.
Faster and a lot more focused.
They probably knew what they were doing because it sounds like they'd been hanging around enough. But there's a big difference between when my dad would let me answer the phones at his office and 2 10-year-olds running the fry machine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering if they were up there, you know, they say visiting a parent. I'm wondering if it's because there was nobody else to keep them, like be at home with them or something.
Probably.
Or the babysitter, you know, canceled on them or whatever.
And they're teaching those kids how to like work hard early. Those are life lessons.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of, again, I agree completely if the parent owns the business.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. If I have a business, my kids are gonna be in there working as soon as they can.
Yeah, but you're the owner.
Yeah.
Right.
There's got to be a huge level of liability, though, if you're not the owner. And again, you got a couple of 10-year-olds in there.
Yeah, if there's a 10-year-old waiting on me at McDonald's, I'm going to tell them their math is wrong. I'm saying, you probably haven't reached this part of math class yet. What are you, in the 5th grade? Yeah, you'll get this when you're about the 7th, but you've overcharged me here. You know, I'd be getting discounts on the food.
Now, Trinity Riggins is next. Hang on.
It's radio. It's a podcast. It's the Ace and TJ podcast and radio show. More next.
We have had some technical problems.
Hit it! You are connected to Ace TJ 5G. Ace TJ Riggins Alexis Tech D-Rob. Live from the Calatrend Studios, this is the Ace and TJ podcast and radio show.
From the chilly Calatrend Studios. Well, I'll tell you what, they put that new big unit in here, and as soon as that air kicks on, it can run for about 35 seconds, and then it's time to cut it back off.
Yeah, it's cold.
Woo! Love it, love it. But now I got hot flashes like a menopausal. Because it's hot, then it gets really cold, and it's hot and really cold. And then when I start cussing y'all out, you'll know that it's menopausal. That I can't control it.
It's all because of the big unit.
Yeah, I caught it off of some woman.
I call it menopause.
It's not the news, it's more important. Now trending with Riggins on the Ace and TJ show.
So I think Jamie Foxx is listening to the Ace and TJ show. Just yesterday, we were talking about how, Jamie Foxx is still in the hospital 3 weeks after his medical incident, as they were calling it. And then just yesterday, he reappeared on Instagram to post this message. It says, "Appreciate all the love. I'm feeling blessed." And then he put the prayer hands and a little heart. So nobody was really talking about Jamie Foxx until we were. So I think Jamie's listening to the show. Maybe he's on the road to recovery because he's listening to the show.
And they had some very misleading headlines yesterday. Like basically saying Jamie Foxx breaks his silence about his mysterious illness.
Yeah.
As if you click on it and he's going to say, here's what happened and all that. And then that's all it was.
Thank you for the prayers.
Right.
Hardly breaking a silence. But it is interesting. In the hospital a long time. Nobody's talking about it. But I know they're already starting a new season of his game show. It's that music show. Is it Shazam?
Shazam, yeah.
Yeah. So they've already replaced him because production had to go in. And his daughter was the DJ on the show. And I know they've replaced her because she's still in the hospital, looking after her dad, which is great.
Mm-hmm. I forgot who they said is going to take her place. But what's his name? Nick Cannon, the worst possible human I think they could have gotten that's in show business, is going to take his place for this season as host.
He hosts everything. It'll just be a network hosted. Everything is hosted by Nick Cannon.
It was Kelly Osbourne, by the way.
Kelly Osbourne. That's right. Is she a DJ?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's trash. The other day he was on an interview and they asked him to name all his kids and he forgot one of them.
I saw that.
Like, come on.
Well, he's got a lot. I mean, he's got what?
Still, like, exactly. If
Come
you
on.
can't remember all of your kids' name, don't have any more.
He's also a disgusting racist. Main thing. Ugh.
Yeah, it's crazy. So he's going to host, and then,
In my opinion.
in your opinion, that's fine. Today, May the 4th be with you. Everybody's still talking about the Star Wars thing. We got it. I know they're doing more Star Wars movies. I don't know how much Disney paid. I mean, they paid like $1 billion to get all the Star Wars properties, so they're going to keep turning out Star Wars movies for the foreseeable future.
I saw
there's
on-
new shows and
Yeah, I saw on Twitter somebody said greatest cinematic universe ever. Period.
over
Star Wars over Marvel or anything else for that matter.
yeah. Rob's going to see the new Marvel movie.
But everything they've churned out is successful, though. Their TV shows are all successful. I don't know if all of them are successful, but
Baby Yoda.
The Mandalorian is certainly a huge success now.
Yeah. The coronation is trending, and if you use the hashtag, it'll give you a fun little emoji to talk about the coronation. I got to feel this is going to be a real stinker as far as TV ratings, because I think people are just kind of over the nonsense with the royal family. It'll do some numbers. I just don't think it's going to be nearly as popular as like any of the royal weddings or anything like that. So the coronation happens this Saturday.
Well, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that Charles is not a beautiful princess becoming a queen that women would watch and go, oh, she's so beautiful. Look at the dress. Look at this. Look at that. And he's also not a desirable man that women could watch and go, oh, he's so handsome. She's so lucky to have the king. You know,
No fairy tale.
That sort of thing.
The ratings would be much
Right.
bigger if this were William and Kate.
Oh, for
if William
sure.
were becoming king, they would have monster ratings.
Yeah, they're like, who's this old guy with the sausage fingers? And
Yeah, that was weird. We don't like him.
Because no men are going to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
And no one
Zero men.
No one wants to see Camilla become any type of queen.
Yeah.
Right.
People still hate him.
Yeah,
for
and I
Princess
don't
Di
like
and
her
the whole
either.
thing, so,
She's
yeah.
dumb.
she's dumb.
Yeah,
dumb.
there we go.
Check it. And they say Taylor Swift is dating the lead singer of the 1975. His name's Matty Healy, I think is how you say it. So,
Cool band.
Is it cool?
I like that. That is cool.
I hate that name, the 1975. But yeah, she spent 6 years with that guy Joe and just moved right along. I said a couple weeks ago she's the most eligible bachelorette in the world, and now it looks like she's dating another musician. He's a smoker too. Don't like that for her. What are you gonna do? Right now in my closet, in the guest bedroom, there is a stuffed animal, a stuffed panda. His name is Pan Pan, and he's just awaiting the day that I throw him in the garbage. But today is not that day, and maybe you feel similar. We're going to get to it coming up next.
Live in the morning and anytime you want it as a podcast. This is the Ace and TJ podcast and radio show. More next.
The Ace TJ Baby Registry is open. Hey, head over to acetj.com/baby and donate to 2 incredible causes. Today. Do it today. Don't waste time. acetj.com/baby.
It's super easy and very cheap, and just as much as you want to do, as little as you want to do. But it's very important for Living Children's Hospital and the Jeff Gordon Center.
For sure. There's a stuffed animal. I don't want to bore you again, but I do have my childhood stuffed animal. It's a panda. I always loved pandas, and I don't have the heart to throw him away. And he's gone with me from apartment to house to apartment to back to a house, and I just don't have the heart to throw him away. So when I got a dog, I gave him the stuffed animal thinking, oh, this will be a great toy for him. And he started thrashing it around, and I took it away immediately because he didn't know how to treat my stuffed animal. So I don't have the heart to throw it away. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I just can't throw it away. There's a new study out that says it will cause you anxiety if you have too many computer tabs open. And when I look over at Alexis's computer all the time, she has about 40 tabs open at all times. Something to think about. There's now research being done. But a lot of people just can't find it in their heart to close those tabs.
No, because I might need it in a second.
Exactly the problem.
Yep.
I might need it.
I might
can use this later. So they say clean up your computers, whether it's on your desktop or in your browser, close those tabs. What do you have a hard time throwing away? not something sentimental, like, you know, your mom's cookie jar and you kept it because she passed away. It's just something that for whatever reason you can't seem to throw it away. So you bring it with you everywhere. What is it? Is it, you know, a can of spray paint that your dad used to like fix your mailbox one time and you're like, well, hell, there's a half a can of paint in there. I'm just keeping it for 10 years. And like it would be wasteful to you.
I have one.
Okay.
A long time ago, I bought a shirt that I loved. It was back when I wore really cool clothes all the time. And I got it home, and it was a little bit tight because I didn't try it on in the store. I hung it up, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to lose a few pounds, and then I'll fit into it. Well, that was about 300 pounds ago. But we've moved twice since then, and I've kept it, and it's still hanging in my closet with the tags on it. It's out of style now.
Is it really?
Yeah. But I keep saying that, you know, I'm going to get into that one day.
That's a great example.
Still got the tags on it.
Now,
That's a great example.
At this point in my life, I'm one step away from eating the shirt. You know, putting a little icing on it and just devouring it.
That's a perfect example. So Ace and TJ's just can't toss it. What can you not throw away? You don't have the heart to do it. We'll find out yours coming up next.
From the Calotren Studios, this is the Ace and TJ Show. Find out more about Calotren at acetj.com/weight loss. Available when you want it, how you want it. This is the Ace and TJ podcast and radio show.
We'll give it to you when you want it, how you want it. Ooh, never really listened to that before. That is almost threatening. How you want it, when you want it.
Did we say we're giving it to you?
Something like that.
I don't think
What
you
did
said that. That's not what that said.
What did that say?
Available.
Oh, I don't know. Just how you want it, when you
It
want
said
it.
available, when you want it, how you want it, or whatever. It didn't say we're giving it
I
Give it
would,
to you.
I would
Give it to
ask
you real
you,
good.
I would ask you how you want it, but I'm just going to tell you how you're going to get it.
That's right. I'm gonna lay it out for you. Here's what you gonna get and how you gonna get it. All right. What can you just not toss? What you have a hard time throwing it away? I have this childhood stuffed animal. I can't throw it away. A lot of people said that same thing at the Ace TJ show on social media. But Nikki said my Duck Dynasty collection. I've even had it all bagged up twice, and I just can't throw it away for some reason. She's hanging on to it. But my favorite one comes from a woman named Tabitha. She said, this is actually pretty embarrassing to type out. I kept an empty can of root beer from the 8th grade that my boyfriend and I shared on a date. And I kept it until I got married. The second time.
What?
I had it in a storage chest and I just could not throw it away for the longest time.
So made it all the way through, what, high school, college age, all the way through her first marriage, and then it was in the second marriage before she was able to finally throw it away?
That is just brutal. I mean, heartbreak at a young age. A can of root beer that you shared on a date. It's kind of something kind of sweet, though.
It is. It's a memento.
But I don't care if I'm the husband. I'm like, throw it away. I
I'll
don't care
grab
if it
that
was in 8th
can
grade.
and like kick it.
Yep. Drop kick it. Stamp on it. I don't care. I'll fight him right now. 8th grade. Judy said my cassette and CD collection. I just told my teenagers that I have the original Tracy Chapman cassette when he was listening to Luke Combs' remake of Fast Car today.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got the original. He's like, and?
Be like, okay.
All right.
It probably skips.
No, it would have been on a tape.
Oh,
I
so
don't even think
that
there was a
string comes
CD
out
back
and it gets
then.
all tangled up.
Yeah,
Then
it
what?
starts dragging.
He's like, this is a Luke Combs song. That's what I know. But keeping that, I know Rob keeps his DVDs. He's still got his DVD
No, I don't.
collection.
I sold them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's one of the things I wish I had done differently. I was just not in a good headspace when I was cleaning out my old house.
Yeah.
When I had to go back and clean it all out. And CDs, and I wish I'd gone through and cherry picked. There was stuff I wish I had kept.
CDs?
Yeah. Just
Why?
some of them you can't find them now. Like I can't, and I just didn't. It was in a bad place when I was cleaning. I just took my hand and just shoved it off in a box and took it to Goodwill and got rid of it.
They don't have Rat's greatest hits on iTunes.
Hey, seriously, Rob, you cannot find the Scream album anywhere. It's not released, and it's phenomenal.
The
and I
Scream
hate it.
by who?
The band is called The Scream.
Oh, and you can't find that on iTunes?
It's not available on iTunes.
And their YouTube?
I can find the videos on YouTube, but not the full album.
And where would you, let's say you had kept that CD.
Yeah.
What would you be doing with that CD? Just holding it?
No, would probably. I have a connector to my computer. I could have put it into my phone or something, or put it into my iTunes or whatever.
So you just can't get the music.
I just can't get that music now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let me see what I can do. I may be able to do something.
Okay. Thank you.
Because one of the guys from that band mows my yard.
Right.
Did you ask him if he's
So
got
I'll
a
ask
copy?
him.
Yeah. It's the great John Corabi, but I don't want to get off on a whole tangent here.
Yeah. Nor do we. That's what I would love a scream tangent. There's a guy who's like a hardworking guy, construction guy. He married into something unthinkable. I think this is grounds for divorce. Maybe you disagree. We'll find out next.
Get Ace and TJ anytime, anywhere, at your convenience with the Ace and TJ Show podcast. Available wherever you get podcasts. More Ace and TJ is next. AceTJ.com/weight loss. This is the Ace and TJ radio show and podcast.
If you'd like to come to any of our live events, you got to get signed up at acetj.com/prime. It's totally free, and you'll get the invitation to our upcoming live events. We've got one planned pretty soon. I'll have more details about that relatively soon. So, acetj.com/prime, or you can sign up for the paid subscription tier, where you get commercial-free audio and video of the Ace and TJ Show, plus the return of TJ's political podcast, plus new content going up very soon. acetj.com/prime. There's a guy, his name is Steve. Old Steve, and he lives in the UK, and he's like a hard-working guy. He's a construction worker, and he married a woman named Leona, who had 2 Chihuahuas. He was not big into dogs. She had 2 Chihuahuas, and he said, I'll accept your 2 dogs. That's fine. But she loves these dogs more than your average pet owner. She dresses them up in little hats and puts them in beauty contests, and she's won a couple pageants with these Chihuahuas. And then she got a 3rd dog. This puppy is less than a year old and has a wardrobe worth $2,300. And now she has quit her job to become the full-time manager of the 3 dogs. The other 2 that she had are semi-retired, but this new one is now into modeling. And things have gone so well that he's now quitting his job to help her manage the dogs.
Yeah.
Now, that is the definition of how a woman can really take a man who's strong and hardworking and just tear him down into a shell of his former existence. You are now the manager of 3 Chihuahuas. I mean, golly. Steve, what's going on, man? I don't know. Now, I hope he's making a lot more money, and that, might be a good, bold move, but golly, it breaks my heart to see that.
Would you have to make, Riggins, you personally, would you have to make a lot more money before you'd make that move?
Yeah.
If it was just a little bit more, you'd be like, I'd rather make less money and not have to be a manager of Chihuahuas.
Yeah, like how do you go back and face like your buddies, your drinking buddies, and say, no, what are you still working at the plant? No, I'm the manager of, what's his name? Gaston, the Chihuahua.
So would these extreme animal rights nuts look at this as the same way they do SeaWorld and things like that, where the animals perform and they say it's cruel to the animals to make them perform? I would think it's not a Chihuahua's natural habitat to have a hat slung on them and, a dress and paraded out on stage in a hotel ballroom in front of judges.
No, they would not.
They wouldn't say it's the same?
No.
Isn't it, though?
No. Not to me, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you said she really loves these Chihuahuas, and then you said she puts these hats on them and stuff. And I'm like, well, which is it? Does she love them, or does she make them wear stupid hats?
Well, they all
love
say the
wearing
same
the
thing.
hats.
They all say that.
They love it.
They love it.
They don't.
Yeah.
They love the clothes.
And there are dogs that
But
some of them do love the
what?
clothes.
Dolphins love jumping through hoops.
Right.
Whales, orcas, love doing backflips for cheering crowds wearing jean shorts and blown out flip-flops. They love it.
Rednecks. I don't know. But the whales in captivity are killing people. I mean, clearly that should be a red flag. The Chihuahuas aren't killing anybody. The little dogs aren't
I bet as many people have been killed by Chihuahuas as have been killed by sea world type events.
Yeah. That's probably true because I think 4 people have been killed by the orcas.
And
They're all in
Chihuahuas are
captivity.
mean.
Yeah.
They'll go right for your neck.
Yeah, I wish a Chihuahua would try to kill me. I choked that little. Shut up. But man, I don't know. This was supposed to be a story about how she's like built this life around the Chihuahuas, but I feel for the husband. That's what I focused on.
Yes, hapless husband.
Man, Steve, come on, man.
From the Calotrin Studios, this is the Ace and TJ Show. Find out more about Calotrin at acetj.com/weight loss.